Hello, welcome to Bryant Fitness Systems. I'm Scott Bryant, Master Chek Practitioner Level 5, certified. And this video is all about attracting clients that trigger you. So what I mean by triggering you is that they may say something that gets your goat up or winds you up or makes you feel uncomfortable. And normally it might be an issue that you have yourself or you've had happen to you in your career. So they won't realise that what they're saying is triggering you. And I've had this quite a bit with clients, especially when you're trying to educate the client about the myths and the untruths in the fitness industry, and they might have read something online or heard from another trainer or heard from their friend, and they're totally convinced that you're wrong and they're right. And obviously, if you've read a lot and you've studied a lot and you've been in the industry for a long time, you will get this quite a few times with your clients, okay? So what I always do, I try and give them the scientific resource where they can go to and read up about it, or I recommend the book that they can read, or over time they realise that I do my job with love and compassion, and I'm not there to wind them up or to call them a liar or call them stupid or anything like that, because I'm there purely to help educate them to a different level. So then that way, when they do go in the gym, they can see the pitfalls of the Smith machine, or they can see why they shouldn't use the leg press and things like that, or the leg extension if they've got a knee injury, or the seated chest press if they've got, an injury in their elbow, like tennis elbow or something like that. So I'm never going out of my way to get into arguments with my clients or anything. I'll just say, look, I'll give you the resource, I'll email you the book to read. So when you don't believe me, you can read these books, then you'll understand what I understand. And they really appreciate that. But we as personal trainers, we'll be working with narcissists, people that are very depressed, people that are highly successful and want to control everything, which is a bit narcissistic. And you will work with people with bigorexia, bulimia, all these different mental, emotional issues. And the way to deal with it really is to be totally honest and be loving and caring in your session. And if something rises up in you, like you're going to lose your rag or whatever, just calm it down and say, this is just a trigger and I'm going to let it go with love and it won't come back again. And a great audio program to read or study is Feelings Buried Alive But Never Die. So I've studied that a few times and it's really, really helped me as well to be an even better trainer by being honest and understanding and working with compassion. So if you get a client that's they're grieving for a family member, you may find they're missing times, missing days and not turning up and keep cancelling and stuff like that. So you might want to get rid of them as a client, but really, is that the right thing to do? I don't think it is. I think you need to support and let the client know with boundaries that, you run a business and you want to be successful and they're making you not be successful by not contacting you and being on time and stuff like that, So all them things are really important. So when you come across somebody that's triggering you, maybe take some time out. Or like what I've done, I've had clients triggering me, I've taken them in the consultation room and I've given them a talking to. And I just said, look, you're paying me to train you for my expertise. Are you going to listen or are you just going to argue? If you're going to argue, then we need to call it a day if you're going to keep doing this. And normally I found, because I'm standing my ground and I'm putting up boundaries, I normally find the client is much more compliant. Like I had a client once say to me, I'm not doing them chin-ups today. And I went, why? Are you injured? No, but I'm just not doing chin-ups. I don't feel like it. So I said, well, there's the door. He went, what do you mean? I went, well, if you're not going to listen to me or do what I asked you to do in the program, there's the door. Leave. I'm not going to train you. And then he apologised, realised that he was trying it on, and I ain't going to stand for it. And then I carried on training him, which was great, and we trained for many years together. So it's really important that as a PT, you must set boundaries. Try not to get triggered. I know it's hard sometimes when they may say something, because as a PT, when you're seeing your client more than they maybe see their partners, their lovers, or you're definitely seeing them more than they see their hairdresser or anybody else in their family. So you sort of like become an extension of their family. So you've got to make sure you set strong boundaries, and that you make sure that you're caring and compassionate with what's going on for that client. So one day I had a client come in, and they was under huge amounts of stress because their relationship was breaking up and they didn't know what to do. So they was offloading all that onto me. So all I do when I get home, I do an energy cleanse. I put a crystal over myself and just got rid of that negativity, or write it down on some paper, which gets rid of it for when I go to sleep. Does that make sense? But you have to listen to your clients, and you have to be really caring and compassionate. And if you are caring and compassionate and you have good interaction with your clients, you will have them clients for many, many years, because they're not getting that anywhere else. They're not going to get that from the doctor. They're going to be in the doctor's 15 minutes, take this drug. Whereas if they've got a health issue, especially if you're working as a IMS 1 or 2, or you're a Chek practitioner, you will be listening to them more than what the average guy does, you know. And with me, with my HLC now, the HLC paperwork, which is a lot of it, about that much, and loads of documents and stuff, I never send it out anymore. I sit the client down and I talk to them, simply because I'm listening to everything they say, and I want to vet them to see whether, you know, it's worth them spending £250 to £500 on these bits of paper that are going to tell everything. It's going to tell me everything about them, and I'm going to be able to link what's going on in their health issue and how I can change it using the Chek philosophy. Does that make sense? And I found to get 100% success rate compared to trying to send the paperwork out and waiting for a reply. And a lot of people, when I was sending it out, I was taking the payment, sending it out, and it'd be weeks and weeks, or I'd never get the paperwork back. And then they would ask for a refund, which I don't normally give refunds, because, you know, I run a business and I want to stay successful. So after changing the format of the paperwork, it's really, really worked 100%. They always fill it out. They always do it. It's just that the only thing is, some clients are in a panic and they want to go, I want to do the assessments now and I want to start training straight away. So I try and calm them down a little bit and say, look, there's a process which I use, and I need to get everything together before we can start working together. But sometimes I'll break the rule, because you have to bend like a tree in the wind, like side to side, for each individual client, because it's the difference between keeping a client and losing a client. Does that make sense? So you've got to use your own skill and expertise. Like, I've got one client that's filled out all the paperwork, but I've not been able to go over it with him because he's away a lot. So we've put a date in the diary for when he gets back that we're going to go over it all, and then he'll understand it. And I've already given him some tidbits on stuff he should do. So I try and drip feed the client as much as I can, like I've been taught. So it's really important that when you get triggered, don't let it trigger you, or let it rise up and let it go, but don't lose your rag. And make sure you look at it in a logical way. Why is the client saying that? What are they going through? How can I help them with what they're going through more, you know? And the more caring and compassionate you are, the more your client base will grow, because they'll tell their friends, oh, he listens to me, he's trained me, he's got me out of pain, I've lost a lot of weight, I haven't had to do a crazy restrictive diet, I haven't had to do anything, you know, I haven't had to do intermittent fasting, which some clients want to do, some clients don't, you know. So you've got to really listen to your clients as much as you can, and the more you listen, the more is revealed, and the easier it is to work with people. But don't change yourself, just be you like I am, you know. People know I like having a laugh and joke. People know that If you upset me, you'll be trained even harder with safety, not as in a way of I'm going to beast you that you hurt yourself. It'll be a way, instead of you holding hip extension for a minute, I might get you to hold it for 2 minutes. So you get into a little bit of a sweat, you feel it a little bit more, and the client's thinking, oh, I better be careful what I say to Scott. So if you're getting triggered all the time, take a look at yourself and then take a look at your clients. Sometimes you've got to say to yourself, do I really want to be triggered and be stressed in the session that I'm doing with my client because they've got all these other issues, you know? So sometimes you may have to say to the client, you're coming up to the end of your package. I don't really want you to rebook again because I'm finding it quite difficult, you know? And just be honest, just be open and honest. And the client might say, why, what have I done wrong? You know, how can we change this? You know, and when you tell them, and then they put up a boundary, you put up a boundary, and then you start working much better together, you know, because, you know, personalities can clash, you know, and I've had that with a lot of personal trainers where they don't like my personality or they feel inferior because of my level of knowledge or studying. But I try to pacify it as much as I possibly can, you know, and some people, you will always rub you up the wrong way, and other people will never rub you up the wrong way, you know, they just say all the right things. And this is what I try and look for when I'm looking for clients or a client gets in touch with me. I'm asking a series of many questions. So hopefully I don't take on the wrong person and they don't get the wrong trainer. Does that make sense? So I hope you've enjoyed this video, 11 minutes 54. Please subscribe, please follow, please share, please like. And if you have a specific question that you want answered, anything to do with personal training, fitness, diet, lifestyle, exercise, then please post below and I'll do my utmost to do a video on it. Okay, thanks very much. Peace out. Lots of love. Enjoy that sun, but don't get too burnt. Bye-bye. Speak soon.